Video, boys, we're going to be taking a look at these 5 new dynamic duos dropping today in the new NBA Draft Festival and NBA 2K25 Myteam. So we'll be talking about these 5 duos, looking at their stats and their badges upgrades, see if maybe if they get any animation upgrades. Most likely not, just because 2K hasn't been doing that for any of the duos, and just want to talk about which ones look the best and potentially worth running on your squad and picking up in the new festival, because these cards will be in the exchanges. And I mean, I'm looking at Dark Matter Dikembe, and I'm just very curious how many pieces he's going to cost, because this is the most interesting thing to me. I see 100 overall Boogie, but there's Dark Matter Dikembe in here, and if you guys know, they put these cards in the festival exchanges, so that means you can exchange pieces to get Dikembe. I'm starting to think that that might be the most worth the thing to do. I know he's probably going to be a lot, like he might even be a GOAT piece. He probably should be a couple GOAT pieces, because that's how good Dikembe is. So I'm kind of curious to see, but we'll talk about that more here in a second, and we'll start with Dikembe and Stacey Augment just to make a little bit more sense, starting with these two cards. So again, talking about this duo, do I think it's going to make Dikembe? I mean, he does get 8 legend badges. That is kind of crazy. He gets Legend Brick Wall, Half-Line Denier, Paint Patroller, Pogo Stick, Post Lockdown. Set Shot Specialist is nice to have as well. A couple stat upgrades, no animation upgrades as well, like I said. But getting those 8 legend badges can be nice. Stacey Augment could be really good because, I mean, he's a 6'8" 2 guard with a 7'8" wingspan. Doesn't look like he gets too many stat upgrades, but I mean, the block would have been nice to get upgraded, but everything else is good stats and badges wise. He actually does have a decent jump shot. It's kind of, yeah, I mean, it's an okay jump shot. The SIGs just aren't great. Would have been nice if he got dribble SIG updates, but again, that's the thing I'm most excited for and interested in. I think the most intriguing thing about these 5 new duos is the fact that Dark Matter Dikembe is going to be available in the festival exchanges to get, and you can pick him up and add to your squad. So yes, you don't have to run the duo with Stacey Augment. You can just get him normally, and I think that's going to be probably the most worth it thing to do in the festival, unless he's like 5 GO pieces or something crazy, and I think he will be at least a GO piece or 2 for sure. We'll have to see if he's invincible or dark or 100 overall pieces. I mean, unless it's like a ton of them, like 20, 100 overall pieces, then yeah, he probably won't be worth it or something, but we'll see. He might even be worth that. Like, he's going to be probably one of the most worth it things to do, even if you're not running the duo. We'll now go to Drew Holiday and Darren Collison, because let's be honest, I mean, if you want to get Drew Holiday on your team, again, you could just buy the duo, not run the duo. But if we're talking about the duo specifically, I mean, you're not going to run these 2 point guards on the same line. I guess you could put Drew Holiday at shooting guard, but Darren Collison is a 6-foot point guard who is not very good whatsoever. So it's just like, it's impossible to run this duo, because if you guys don't know, to activate the dynamic duo, to have the stat upgrades and the badges upgrades, the cards have to be on the floor at the same time. They can't just be on the same team. You can't just put, you know, Darren Collison on the end of the bench, or you can't just put Stacey Augment on the end of the bench and not have him in the game. Dikembe's not going to get any boost. You can have that, but you're not going to get any boost. The only time you get the boost is when they're on the floor at the same time. So that's why I'm saying, like, Drew Holiday and Darren Collison, you're not going to run those cards on this, you know, at the same time on the floor. It just doesn't make any sense to do so. Darius Garland and RJ Barrett makes a little bit more sense to run. I could be missing something, guys. Did they go to the same college? Because why is Darius Garland and RJ Barrett getting a duo? I gotta be missing something here. I'm probably having horrible NBA ball knowledge right now. Why is Darius Garland and RJ Barrett have a duo? I mean, RJ went to Duke. They don't play on the same team. They have the same name? No, they don't. Like, why are they getting a duo? I could be wrong. You guys can let me know. I'm sure there's obviously some reason, but Darius Garland does get a lot of big stat upgrades. That is nice to see. He does go up from what, 18 Hall of Fame badges to 26, which is really nice. And this card does get a lot better. I mean, does RJ get legend badges? He doesn't, but he gets 34 Hall of Fame, so he pretty much turns into a 100 overall card. I mean, this is not a bad duo to run. I would say, like, probably Dikembe and Stacey Augment are still the best duo, just because of how good of a card Dikembe is, but that's probably the next best duo that we've talked about so far. And then looking at DeMarcus Cousins and Patrick Patterson, I mean, Boogie is going to get, wait, did he get any he got no upgrades at all? Why did they not give this card any upgrades? They gave him +1 3 and +2 block, but again, similarly to Dikembe Mutombo, depending how many pieces he cost, this could be a nice, really good card to have, again, to exchange for. If you're looking for a power forward card and Dikembe's too expensive, let's just say he's too many GO pieces, but DeMarcus Cousins is less. I mean, again, it's a 100 overall card that you can get for free using your event pieces. So maybe not running the duo, but having just DeMarcus Cousins on, you know, in your team and, you know, and in your collection can be really nice. Patrick Patterson does get some pretty big stat upgrades. He also does go from 12 Hall of Fame badges up to 26, and he's already not a bad small forward. Like, he's got a good jump shot. He's got decent dribble sigs. I mean, this could be a good duo to run. This is probably the best duo so far when we're talking about actually running these two cards, you know, in the same team on the same line. I would say they're easily the best duo so far, then probably Dikembe and Stacey Augmon, then RJ Barrett and Darius Garland, and then I would say Jrue Holiday and Darren Collison so far. But now we do got to talk about the last dynamic duo here of the 5 that we'll talk about. Ben Gordon and Emeka Okafor, I think is how you say his name. A 6'3" point guard though, and Ben Gordon, he is going to go up to 21 Hall of Fame badges, but they don't upgrade the block at all. They don't upgrade the interior defense at all. That is super disappointing. So he doesn't really get too many upgrades. I guess Okafor does get a plus 43, which is really, really nice, but he's got this horrible jump shot with the Jalen Smith base and the Patrick Ewing upper. This is probably one of the worst big man jump shots in the game. So it's like, I guess you can technically shoot a three, but are you gonna be able to green with this card's jump shot? Absolutely not. So guys, talking about these duos, if I were to run any of these duos, I would say the one I'd run the most is probably, I think DeMarcus Cousins and Patrick Patterson makes the most sense when it comes to the duo. I think both those cards are very, very solid. Dikembe is the best card here though, for sure. Dikembe Mutombo is really, really good. He's a top tier center, top tier power forward, and I'll talk about it in a different video coming out later today or maybe tomorrow. Talking about, like, you know, is it worth it to exchange for Dikembe? We'll have to see obviously how many event pieces he does cost, but that's the one thing I'm really liking about this duo stuff is maybe don't look at it as so much the duos, because let's be honest, none of these duos look incredibly good. If we go look at the past duos from the last festival, I do want to see what they look like. Was it this duo update? I'm pretty sure it was. No, that was the Father's Day event, so it would have been June 6th, I want to say. So again, it was like Andrew Bogut and Mo Spades, a very viable duo for sure, but it's like, it was nice to have Andrew Bogut. I exchanged one Galaxyable piece, got Andrew Bogut on my team, and he's my starting point guard in the no money spend. So it's like, or you could have Mike Miller, right? Or you could have, you know, any of these cards you want. You don't have to worry so much about running the duo. So that's the way that I would look at it, and the way I look at it being a good thing. You know, don't look at it as you have to run Dikembe and Stacey Augmon, and oh no, you can't run these cards because maybe Stacey Augmon isn't that great. You can get Dikembe Mutombo for free. We're just gonna have to see how many event pieces he costs. So that is the most positive thing to look at, guys, for sure. Again, I'll be talking about that in a separate video today. If I had to rank these in order, for duos I would actually run on the floor at the same time. I would say number 1 is DeMarcus Cousins and Patrick Patterson. Number 2 is Dikembe Mutombo and Stacey Augmon. Number 3 is probably Darius Garland and RJ Barrett. And then I would say number 4, I guess, is Jrue Holiday and Darren Collison, just because Jrue Holiday is a much better card than Ben Gordon or Okafor. And then I would say the worst one here is definitely Okafor and Ben Gordon. They started off as diamond cards and really didn't get that much better. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about these 5 duos below, but looking like an absolute dub with the Dikembe Mutombo that should be available for free, and hopefully not too many event pieces. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.